Hi, Mark.
Kirsty, hi. So, we've got this research project to organise. I really like the idea of doing it on the allotment gardens opposite the college. Brilliant idea of yours.
Oh, not really. I walk past there every day and see people working on little plots of land, growing their own food, and I thought it'd be interesting to find out more about it.
Great. So, we'd better decide who's doing what in terms of gathering some background data.
Right. I thought we ought to do two things. Do some background reading, then actually go and interview some of the people involved.
Sure. I guess we could start by looking into why the allotment gardens are there, whose idea it was, when they were established, etc., looking at historical records.
Well, I've already discovered that it was a national programme in the 1920s, so our local one would have been a part of that. I guess we could look at local records to see why this particular site was chosen.
OK, I'll do that then. I guess it was wasteland or something. There's quite interesting geology and soils round here, actually.
Oh, I don't think we need to go into all that.
Oh, OK.
But what you could do is find out what the terms and conditions are for the gardeners. Do they pay rent? Do they have a contract, etc.?
Well, I think you can ask them that. We don't need to research it ourselves.
Yes, you're right. But I did read a newspaper report that said the site was under threat of development. You know, somebody wants to build housing there.
Really? Now that is interesting. I could look to see whether anyone's applied for permission to the local council's planning office.
Exactly.
OK, great. Right then, I guess we need to ask somebody if it's OK before we go over there and start talking to people.
Yes. The land belongs to the city council and somebody there manages it. I'll give them a call.
Great. He should be able to give you a plan of the site too.
Yes. And maybe some indication of who amongst the gardeners it might be best to approach, like who's been there the longest or whatever.
Yeah, OK. It might be good to have an introduction rather than just approaching them out of the blue, actually.
I agree. Then I thought I ought to check out any other research there's been on the subject.
Yes, that's true. We don't want to do stuff that's already been done.
Before you hear the rest of the conversation, you have some time to look at questions 25 to 30. Now listen and answer questions 25 to 30.
Have you got any idea what we should actually focus on in our research?
Well, I think it's a choice between a survey about use, how many people use the land, how often they go, how productive it is, or something more attitudinal, like what motivates people to do it, what they get out of it, what difference it makes to their lives.
Yes, I like that. Let's go with that. But what about issues, disputes between the gardeners, difficulties they have with the management, things like that?
Well, I don't think we can make that our aim. There may not be any problems.
Yes, you're right. Let's stick to the attitudinal focus then.
OK.
I think the next stage is to do some preliminary work. Find out if we can get permission, see if anyone will talk to us, whether there are any specific issues we could focus on.
Well, shouldn't we consult our tutor before doing all that? Get the go-ahead for the topic in principle?
Well, she said specifically not to do that. To go to her once we had a definite proposal, with the details in place.
OK, let's do that then. I think that's going to be the hardest part.
What, writing the proposal?
No, finding what level of detail to go into. We could interview lots of people and try and find their overall views, or just pick a few and really do in-depth interviews with lots of questions.
I think you're right.